Good morning, good evening, guys. Thank you very much for joining us today to start to learn something new in this talk. So today in this talk, I am going to give a presentation on building Spring Boot applications using Kotlin. In this talk, I am going to use Spring Boot and React.js for building the pet store application. So before going to talk, let me introduce myself. Myself Chaitanya. I work as a full stack developer for a reputed bank. Then I have good experience over Spring framework, and recently started working on web components on Java. Uh, though my career started as a mobile developer, I eventually became a full stack developer. And today's talk agenda is to give an introduction about Kotlin's multi-platform plugin. Then I'll show a demo. In the demo, I'm going to build a Spring Boot application. Then UI also with this. And then if you want to understand this demo completely, you need to have a little bit background of Kotlin. Java knowledge is enough, and if you want to get a good knowledge, understand the front end application, definitely you need to have the knowledge of JavaScript and React.js, because I'm going to use React.js in this project as well. So if you see this diagram, these this is actually the way how Kotlin multi-platform plugin works. So a multi-platform plugin, basically it will take your JS files or Kotlin JS files, KT files. It will convert into the .js files, and it can also accept .java files. It is having actually it is having good interoperability with the Java, so it can also convert your .kt or .java files to .class, .jar, .apk files. Then if you go to native applications, it can also convert into your native library such as iOS or Windows, Mac, these things. There is also a module called common module, where you can maintain the common code which is common among all these platforms. You can keep it there, and Kotlin will take care of it to convert into respective platform. So there is another feature in multi-platform plugin, that is expect actual. The expect is like it is like creating an interface and create a different kind of implementations. Expect is like interface, actual is like implementation. So see, this is a small code example which shows how to declare expect. So if you see here, expect, we will define expect before the class, and we will not give any definition to the function from. So if when it comes to actual, in the actual we will give the function actual definition. So this is actually JVM implementation. If you go to JavaScript, you can create your own function there, and you can have a implementation as per your JavaScript code. Or if you are developing for iOS, you can also extend this function, and you can write your own code there. This is one feature that enabled a platform plugin to compile for different types of platforms. So without much ado, I'll start demo for this application. First of all, I created very basic project, Gradle project. This doesn't have anything, just a build.gradle. From this, we will start configuring the application for the multi-platform plugin. Yeah. So in the first of all, to start the application, we need to define some of the settings in the settings.gradle. I'm just copy pasting them. I'll show you these things. Uh, uh, it's not, there is no such specific rule that Gradle is only we can use. I'm just using it for my demo purpose. Funny, you're asking, right? Why the Gradle? You can also use Maven, not a problem. Yeah. So this thing will enable us to fetch the Kotlin related plugins from the Kotlin JetBrains library. Then we will go to the build.gradle. Here we have to do define some of the things. First of all, here we need to define the multi-platform plugin dependency. Okay. This is not copy paste. I'll type. And, 2.7. Next, we need to define this is repositories. This is fine. Then just we will say here Kotlin, and we will say which platform we are going to use. So plugin management generally has to be on the top. So we set up multi-platform plugin with this. Then we don't need this SRC. What I will do is I'll delete and I'll create one more folder in this. So in this again I'll have a file. Sorry Raj, are you saying something?
Telling him that in Kotlin you can, sorry, in Gradle you can write it in Kotlin language itself instead of writing in Groovy.
Yeah. I'm just copy pasting the whole script because a lot of things are there. In this, in the actually what I'm trying to do here is I am configuring a Spring Boot here. If you see here, uh, build script in this, we are mentioning a dependency. This is Kotlin no arg plugin. Basically with this, what this plugin is doing is previously we have to, when we create a Spring Bean, we have to make it as a open. Now with this plugin, it just made a simplified all the syntax. We no need to make Spring Beans as a open. Now it will automatically taken care by this plugin. Next, this is a here you can see Spring Boot version that I'm using here. And um, and these are the different plugins that we use for Spring Boot application now. Mm, this is the one which will in these are the ones which will take the Spring Boot, I mean Java classes, and I mean our Kotlin classes to dot class files. Then there are different starters that we are using, basic starter and web JPA starter. I'm also using H2 database for this, uh, for basic database operations, DevTools, Lombok, and Kotlin test things. As I'm targeting Java 11, JVM target will be Java 11 here. Next, I'm going to create a package inside this. Let me build the project first. RC name. Then Arctic Kotlin. We are going to use Kotlin, right? So I'm using a created Kotlin class. Then inside it, here I'll create the Kotlin file. Just a minute, this thing is not properly compiled, I think. Just an import section for Kotlin. Okay, so yes. Here we will define to take args here. Then run application. Run application is the method from Spring Boot, from which our Spring Boot application starts. So let me try. Let me run this. Okay, we need to make another thing. We need to create a resources folder as well. Then inside the resource, we will keep so that Suhas, sorry, did you say any something in the chat?
Oh, you are missing braces after a pet store application.
Yeah, it's this is the basic class. We no need to give the brace there. Just we are defining the class there. The actual execution starts from here. This is the Kotlin syntax. Oh, it's okay if you don't have anything, you can keep like that. That's it. Okay, okay. Alright, I missed something. Actual thing. This is the so you can see now the Spring Boot application started. And now let us start writing controller. First, I'll show you the old way of how we used to create controllers. Then I'll also show you the recent Spring Boot feature. It came from Spring version 5. Uh, a new way of creating controllers. First, I'll show you how we will create a old way. Store controllers. Yeah, REST controller. API class. Get So this is how we used to create controllers previously, right? Now I'll show you. Let this run. I'll show you the new way also how we can create. So you can see. Some so not for. Anyways, let us start with the new way. It will definitely work out. There is some problem. So the new way to work, we are going to write a configuration class instead of writing a REST controller class. So we call these things as a routes. this is all. You can, if you want to know more about this, you can google like pet spring rest dsl. This is so here we will class store routes configuration at the rate of okay. This is the actually this is a basic bean. It's a lambda function. It will take I mean it will define it will allow us to define basic routes for our application. Yeah, we are going to accept application.json as well, right? For example, if we want to take something new, create a new pet, these for these kind of things, we'll accept JSON, right? So I'm telling we'll also accept JSON for these routes, and we start we start our application with the API, all our apps dot next. So next is the another lambda function, we inside which we will write our routes. So there are different available methods like get, or also we have post, we have put as well. The for defining different type of operations, we have different types of methods. So for to create an initial route, we will create, we can have pattern like this. Next then to send some body, we will say okay dot body, then hello, welcome to pet store. So I'm just restarting the server. So if you see here, the our route is registered with the Spring. So now if you go here and it's here, you can see hello, welcome to pet store. This is actually not from the controller, this is from our new route. I'm just deleting this controller because we no need now. Now next we will define some database stuff as well. We have JPA dependency. I'll define H2 database configuration here. Database URL cd colon H2 colon H2 DB. So I'm just creating in memory DB and the username SA, password just I'm leaving it a blank. Next some other things like I will I'll keep it as a create doc for now. Database platform. So I defined just dialect for H2. Then also to see some data, I'm just enabling H2 console. So let us try some code operations on the H2. First, we will uh, we will build some models like this. In class H2. So we have data classes in Kotlin to create a Pojo classes where it will give us getter setters to string all these things automatically. So I'm going to use the same data class concept, and we can have annotate with the entity. Then when we annotate with the entity of any class, then first thing we need the mandatory thing we need to do is we have to define ID. Then the ID is like a primary key, right? Yeah. Then um, generated. I want to have it as a auto increment column, so I'm keeping like generated value. Then strategy will be automatically. It will be taken care of Hibernate. So pet ID. I'm just giving it a default value. Next, sorry, store ID. Just store store name will be string. Then the store address. So I'm just having these three fields in this pet store DB. So I'll create a repository. Repos pet store. Generally, repos will be interface, which will be extending third repository. I think I made some experiments. Pet store. No. So if you see this is a very simple syntax that Kotlin enables us to write. If you don't have anything to define inside the class, you no need to have a open brace and close braces for the classes and interfaces. Even it is applicable for methods as well. Then we can directly So these now we are having these kind of syntax to define the routes, right? You might be thinking how we can handle with the database all these things from these. So I'll tell you, show you that how we can do. We can, I'm just creating a handler class to handle these things, the big request from the uh, routes. So it is just a component, it is nothing much more than that. Function add a pet, add story. So here pet store. It is going to accept a pet store info from the user. Here we don't need to write anything. Here, yeah. We will auto wire the repository. I'm just assigning it to null to have a default value. So when we assign it to null, we whenever we access these inside the methods, then we have to uh, use question mark colon question mark dot, so that Kotlin will handle if there comes any null in the variable. Pet store. And this pet store handler we have to auto wire here. Auto wire. So we are going to accept the post here. Post, add new store. Add pet store handler dot add store. So you might be thinking, how can I get the user object here? You no need to worry about that. We have it object by default will be injected by Kotlin. So we can use that here. Yes, actually server, it will be a server request. From that we can get a body. I'll change this thing to server request. That's equal to server request dot mode of type pet store. This is how we accept refer to the class references in Kotlin. So we actually will get server request object. From that we can get the body of the post request. Let us try. Let us rerun it and check in the postman. Oh, this is just a build error. I'm just so it is not accepting. I'm just returning a small string. Okay, it is just asking for the null safety. So you can see the new route also got added in the console. Now let us test it. It should be post add new store, and we will be having a JSON body. I'm just firing the request. You can see uh, you can see it got added. We can see that in H2 console, and just a minute while so I open HT console. Do anybody remember H2 running code? Okay, guys, do anybody remember? Okay, thank you, Funny. I think we also need to define path. So, oh, okay, but I think that is not working. But let us see another way to see whether the data is posted or not. I'll write a get request, get storing. Okay. Okay, thank you, Funny. sometimes it happens. Okay. See here, you can see the our data also got stored in his database. So now, without much further things, I'll create a new project to have a client setup. Actually, we can have a same project, but this Kotlin multi-platform plugin is having a little bit of bugs, so I was not able to create inside existing project itself the client. So I'm just creating a new project to have a JS setup. So if you are using IntelliJ is already giving all the options. So you just choose the Kotlin JS thing, and then you. So if you see here, it is already it is giving us the plugin, the Kotlin JS plugin, which is actually required for JS to, Kotlin code to JS compilation. Then we have a other different standard library JS. This actually will give us a JS support. The here we need to do a little bit of configurations. Okay, I'll see. Starting, one person asked me like, why Gradle. See here, you just Gradle is as Raj told, Gradle is also having, you can we instead of using Gradle DSL, you can use Kotlin DSL. To do that, you just rename it to .kts. That's it. Of course, you need to change it to Kotlin syntax. So if you, I'm just copy pasting the Kotlin JS related things. We need to make it to Kotlin syntax. So if you see here, the just changed things are like I braces. We have group version repositories, but we need to have some other things. No problem. Just there for some time until the next build. It will be in the red, pure red. So I'm just copy pasting some of the dependencies and tasks that are required for building the web applications. So if you see here, standard lib func JS is already there. Let me build this. Okay. Generally in Gradle DSL, we don't need to use equal to, but here we have to, and then we need to keep them in a combo. I'm just copy pasting them as well. I think something is missing. Okay. Now it is okay. So these all are the dependencies that are required for React.js. Uh, we need to have another two import statements. People from the front end might be experienced with TypeScript and React.js, these libraries. So what generally TypeScript does is it will add an extra layer on the JS to have a strict type checking. The same way, if you just this Kotlin JS plugin is just replacing the TypeScript with the Kotlin. So you are going to get uh, the exact type checking what Java is doing or Kotlin is imposing. The same thing you will get in the front end as well. Just give it a second, give it a minute, it will build the project.
Oh, custom.
Sorry, anybody asked question? Any, are you guys clear? Having any doubts? Okay, but build is success. Okay, I think IntelliJ will take time to. Okay, now errors got clean. So if you see here, this is the main file from Kotlin main.kt. If you see here, this document is the browser object where we generally how in when you run the browser with the document only, right, you will access the DOM. So the same way we are going to have a document object. To the document object we are just writing hello world. Let me run this application. So to run that uh, we have tasks defined in the Kotlin JS plugin. Just browser run is the task that we have to use. Oh, sorry, not Webpack, wrong task. Actually, this Kotlin JS plugin is bundled with Webpack so that whatever the configuration that are required, like hot reloading, all these things will comes with this automatically. See here you can see npm install is the task that is running currently. So this npm install will take will what it will do is it will take uh, all the dependencies that are defined with the npm from the build.gradle.kts, and it will check out all those things and it will place here. You can see if you open the build file in the inside js, we can see the node modules. So generally in the ui development, when we do npm install, it will check the npm registry and it will load all the dependencies that are required for the project. The same thing will be done by Kotlin JS plugin itself. And see, you can see here hello world. Now let us build something from the React world, some components. So actually, before developing the components, we also need to do some little bit configuration. We have to create a folder with the name webpack.config.p. Actually this will help us to have an extra configurations like loading the css files SAS files, all these things. We need to have a little extra configuration to load the external CSS files. I'm just copy pasting them. I already have those configuration. Yeah. This configuration allows us to load CSS from external files. I'm already having one dependency to load Bootstrap. Bootstrap is a you know, right? Bootstrap is a CSS library which will gives us all the predefined CSS classes to faster our development. So we to integrate to get the Bootstrap predefined classes, we need to create one more file with the name style.css inside the resources folder. So I'm already having some of the predefined styles. I'm just taking them. This I need to correct the path. Give me not resources. We do have a Bootstrap things in the node build folder, JS node modules Bootstrap. Then sorry, not JS. We'll go to the dist CSS bootstrap.css. So this is the correct path. Now let me start with the here. Yeah, let me start to the with the development. Here I'll just write id. This is the root div in which React will load all its components. So here just writing, we can write our first component. Bg color light blue. Next render document root. So here we are so here we placed a div root, right, that we are getting here in the main kt file. Then we will render whatever the required components for us inside the root div. Till this point I'll just show you how it is loaded. I mean, I put the background color as light blue, right? It should be loaded now. It is still loading. Something happened. Okay, we need to place this script file to here. Actually, hot reloading is enabled, but in my system it is taking too much of time to do hot reloading, so I just restarted. So you can see the light blue color that got loaded. I built some of the components. I'll just copy paste them to save time. So browse router is like to handle the different routes in the UI. Like we place, right, high these thing home or slash search or index route, just like this. Browser, it's browser router. So if you see here, all these are Lambda functions only. These are all defined inside the Kotlin JS library. You don't need to, you don't need to stretch for them. These all are available in the Kotlin wrappers library. You can, if you see GitHub, if you search there, you can search for with the name Kotlin wrappers. Then you can find all this information, and just keep defining header index route first for the first time. Then here I need to, I'm just placing a different dummy method. I'm just copy pasting them. Yeah.kt. I'll explain you what are all these things. Okay. Let us create now. I'll just create a basic app, basic component for now. App. It extends our component. It will take R props, comma R state. We need to have a render method implementation where we can see div plus welcome to app pet store. So if these div everything are defined by Kotlin wrappers. So generally if you want to create an HTML tag, you have to create like this, right? But you no need to write like that. Just if you have a knowledge of how to use Lambda functions, that is enough here. So if you want to know more about these things, uh, I also given a talk previously on this channel. You can refer to that. Okay, we need to create one more thing. We just need to export it. Export this. Give it a little bit time. It is actually taking time in my system. Yeah, you can see welcome to pet store. So I'm just copy pasting the further code, and before copy pasting, let us do one more configuration. We'll also have a Axios configuration. um, we have so I'm actually expecting here if you see, um, first let us go with the API utils. This is the way how we import node modules into our project. Axios is actually another node module which is actually defined coming in the dependencies. I already defined it in the dependencies. So that Axios is used to request RESTful data from the RESTful services. So here you can see Axios configuration, and these are the headers that are required for Axios. These all are for just type checking only. And then I'm also expecting Axios response. In the Axios response, we will be having data and status numbers, which are indicating the RESTful services statuses. Then I just defined the constants. Here I'm just placing the host name. Our host name is like 6060, right? I'm just updating it to 6060. And then this get store data. I'm still we need to make some changes to this. then then I'm just having the store response here. So we as of now we don't have full-fledged data, so I'm just copy pasting the data uh, from the different project which I already built. We don't have a database setup. In the database we don't have everything, right? So I'm just um, I just prepared a JSON file which I'm keeping in the resources folder. From this I'll get all the data. So in we have pet store handler right here. Instead of reading from the database, what I will do is I'll read from the class. I'll read from the file. So to do that, we have class path resources right in our Spring Boot. So I'm going to use it. Import inside the class path resource. We have to give data.json. So basically, this JSON will be read by Spring, but we need to when we are sending it to the we also need to convert it to DTOs. So to do that, we have object mapper. I'm just copy pasting that code as well. Sorry guys. So with this, we will get the store data as a list of objects. If we don't properly process this, we will get different objects in the UI. So I'm just processing it with this code. Also, we need to have pet store DTO, pets DTO. So you can see here for each loop. Uh, Basically, if you want to iterate over the list, we have many ways, and also we can access here the Java's streams also here. Uh, yeah, this is a one way that you can use, or other way is without using this. Kotlin has a shortcut syntax for all these things. You can have for each here, or you can have map here directly, or you can have a filters also without using fil- without using streams. You can directly have the Kotlin's shorthand syntaxes. Now we are mapping all the stored data to pets DTO, and just I'm returning that pet DTO. Okay, with this we will get all the required data for building the proper UI. Let it build. Meanwhile, I'll also do copy paste all the images that are required for the UI. So I think our application is loaded. Let us test in the Postman. Okay, sorry, I didn't added that. Oh, okay. I made a mistake. I added it in the add store info itself. I have to have a has to be in the different method. These all are has to be null safety. The null safety checks. If you place these things here, Kotlin just simply ignores if it becomes null. It is another way to suppress the null pointer exception in Kotlin. So you can see the another route that got registered here. Not sure. Okay, I placed it as a post. The problem is this. Guys, are you getting this or do you have any questions or doubts? So we can see the complete pet store info is coming as a JSON here. Now we will start building the UI. Already I have configured the URL inside the API constant, and just we have the same endpoint. Now I'll just copy paste the complete app code so that to save the time. Uh, First app header is required, then app code, So the same package. 1 second, guys. There is my, yeah, got the problem. So just copy paste forward. It's just loading. By this time, we will see all the when it loaded, you will see all the pet store with the images, all the stuff. It is not loading. There are surprises. Okay. Bootstrap didn't get loaded properly. Something like this. Let me see how it was. Okay, and we have to define one more thing. Uh, basically, we need to define car sergeant because we are doing in a different projects, UI and views. So I'll define car sergeant. Configuration. And this one. Actually, to do these, to define car sergeant, there are different ways. I am using just a WebMVC configuration way. Spelling mistakes are there. Just copy paste. Oh, the problem is I by mistakenly I created Java class, and that's why it is showing for I'm deleting this Java class which we have. Okay. Once this get reloads, cross origin will be added. So basically, if you write a general regular REST controller, you can use at the rate of cars origin issue cars origin annotation. The other way is this. As we are not using at the rate of REST controller, I'm just and we are going in we gone in this way routes way. So I chosen this way to configure the cars origin. So you can see here now the pet store is populated with the data and different kinds of pets that are available in the pet. So with this guys, my demo is over. Yeah, thank you everyone for joining. Bye bye.